on the priority business for the House. Remember, the National Assembly has been on recess for a month, and this afternoon the members will be resuming the normal business. But that notwithstanding, we have priority business for the House, and the leader of the majority has highlighted some of the bills and business that the House will be giving priority. Among them is a division of revenue bill, the finance bill, currently being considered by the Finance Committee of the National Assembly, and the conflict of interest bill. The conflict of interest bill is a bill that was returned back to the National Assembly with some reservations from the President. And away from that, the division of revenue bill that guides monies allocated to counties is a bill that will be considered by the House, the Senate, as well as the National Assembly. We have both houses presenting a different figure of the monies to be given to counties. And we will be expecting a mediation committee to sit, the mediation committee comprising of members from the Senate and members from the National Assembly, who will have to agree on a figure. He has spoken on matters misinformation and disinformation on bills before the House, highlighting the Finance Bill 2025, calling for caution and that Kenyans ought to read and understand before they break down the information online, especially. Allow me to hand you over for this live broadcast as the Speaker of the House, Honorable Dr. Moses Wetangula, is already in the chambers this afternoon. Enjoy your viewing.
Waheshimiwa, tuombe. Ewe Mwenyezi Mungu, ambaye kwa hekima na wema wako umeteua nyadhifa za viongozi na mabunge kwa ustawi wa jamii na utawala wa haki wa wanadamu, twakusihi utazame kwa neema nyingi sisi watumishi wako ambao wameridhika kutuita tutekeleze shughuli muhimu za jamhuri yetu. Twakuomba uteremshie baraka zako sisi tulikutanika hapa, na utujalie tuyatende na kufikiria mambo yote yatakayofikishwa mbele yetu kwa njia ya haki na uaminifu, ili utukufu na sifa zako siendelezwe, na ili kustawisha amani, ufanisi na heri ya nchi yetu na wale ambao haja zao umezikabidhi mikononi mwetu. Amen. Can we have the quorum bell ringing? Sergeant. Owen.
The business of the National Assembly has just commenced, with the Speaker directing the Quorum Bell be rung so that members of the National Assembly within the presence of Parliament do make their way into the chamber this afternoon. At a time when the House is resuming business, we have the Senate busy calculating the number of members of Parliament in the chambers to get to see that the House raises quorum. But in the interview just concluded a few minutes ago, the leader of the majority party heavily spoke about misinformation on the Finance Bill 2025, calling upon Kenyans to read and understand the bill, and that the information is readily available about the House businesses on the Parliament website. But this Finance Bill 2025 is a bill that has...
Order number 1, administration of oath. Order number 2, communication from the chair.
Chepkonga, take your seat, or the nearest seat. Honorable Hassan, take your seat. Thank you. Honorable members, I wish to welcome you back to the House from the just concluded long recess. I believe that you are geared up to embark on legislative business as the House commences the second part of the fourth session, which is characterized by the consideration of the budget and related business, therefore christened the budget session. Having said that, I am aware that the recess period was a working recess, given the enormous amount of time that you employed towards public hearings on the Constitution of Kenya Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 4 of 2025, and consideration of the budget estimates for the financial year 2025-26. Honorable members, as we commence the second part of this session, the House will prioritize budget-related business, appreciating the strict statutory timelines therein. Specifically, the House will soon be considering the report of the Budget and Appropriations Committee on the estimates of financial year 2025-2026. This will in turn pave way for the consideration of the estimates in the Committee of Supply and the attendant legislations, including the Appropriation Bill 2025 and the Finance Bill 2025. The House is further expected to consider the Senate amendments to the Division of Revenue Bill 2025, if any, and the count allocation of revenue bill upon receipt of the bills from the Senate. In addition, honorable members, the Cabinet Secretary for the National Treasury and Economic Planning is scheduled to make a public pronouncement of the budget policy highlights and revenue-raising measures for the national government for the financial year 2025-26 on 12th June 2025 in line with Section 40 of the Public Finance Management Act, Cap 412A. We have been notified that this date has been agreed to by the member states of the East African Community in line with the established practice of synchronizing the budget speech day. Honorable members, the timely consideration of the critical House business I have highlighted calls for your utmost dedication, and I urge each member to rise to the occasion so that together we deliver on the legislative mandate of this House in line with the Constitution. Additionally, honorable members, further to my earlier communication regarding the hosting of the 22nd National Prayer Breakfast, which was scheduled to be held on Thursday, 29th May 2025, This is to inform you that due to unavoidable circumstances, the event will now be held tomorrow, Wednesday, 28th May 2025, at the Safari Park Hotel, Nairobi, at 7 a.m. Consequently, the women's convocation and the national conversation were also rescheduled to today and are ongoing. Today, the Tuesday, 27th May 2025, at the same venue. I'm aware that the arrangements for the successful hosting of the prayer breakfast tomorrow are at an advanced stage, if not ready, and I take this opportunity to once again invite all of you, honorable members, to come together to pray for our nation and to pray for yourselves. Honorable members, as you are aware, the first part of the fourth session ended on a sad note for the National Assembly and indeed the country, following the tragic shooting of the member for Kasipul, the Honorable Charles Ongondo Were MP, on Wednesday, 30th April 2025. The late member succumbed to injuries that he sustained after being shot at close range by a gunman on a motorcycle along Ngong Road in Nairobi. Following the shooting of the late Honorable Were, honorable members, I did notify the House and indeed the general public via notification number 5 of 2025, issued on 30th April 2025. Further, I appointed an ad hoc funeral committee chaired by the Honorable Peter Opondo Kaluma CBS MP. The committee ably coordinated Parliament's support to the family in the funeral arrangements that culminated in the befitting send-off that was accorded to the late Honorable Were at his rural home in Karabok, Homa Bay County, on Friday, 9th May 2025. On my own behalf and that of the House and the Parliamentary Service Commission, I extend our sincere gratitude to all members of Parliament and the parliamentary fraternity for supporting the family of the late Honorable Were in their moment of grief. Honorable members, as indicated in my notification, the National Assembly, Kasipul constituents, and indeed the nation lost a dependable and astute legislator who served his constituents and the nation with utmost dedication. Although the late Honorable Ongondo Were has already been laid to rest, we continue to convey our heartfelt condolences to his family, the people of Kasipul constituency, and all his relatives and friends for the loss of a gallant leader. May I urge the security agencies to ensure that the perpetrators of the heinous killing of the late Honorable Ongondo Were are brought to book and his family receives justice for the loss of their loved one. And for the members who accompanied yours truly to the funeral, I thank you very much for being there for your colleague. Honorable members, in honor of our departed colleague, the Honorable Charles Ongondo Were, I request that we all be upstanding and observe a moment of silence. May his soul rest in eternal peace. Members at the bar, take the nearest seats. Take the nearest seats. Honorable members, I also wish to convey to the House that I'm sure you saw in the media yesterday that your colleague, member for Juja, the Honorable Koimburi, was reported by his family to be missing on Sunday, and yesterday there were news bulletins that he was found in some coffee plantation. Luckily, he was alive, and he was recovered and taken to one of the leading hospitals in Nairobi, where he is admitted and recuperating. I have this morning instructed the chair of the committee on security, the Honorable Tongoyo, to liaise with the IG and other security agencies, including the Minister for Security, so that they can be able to get at least some preliminary facts that can be brought to the House. I have been advised by the hospital where he is admitted that the family had given strict instructions not to allow visitors, although in the media we saw some visitors around the member, but we've been told that they are not allowing visitors, including people from, officers from DCI who wanted to visit to find out what may have happened. I'm told they were turned away. Be that as it may, I have directed the chairman of the security committee and the member for Turkana, is it North, Honorable Epuyo Nanok, Turkana West, who is the chair of a committee that the Honorable Koimburi also serves, to, in the course of this afternoon, visit the honorable member in hospital. I hope you'll be allowed to see him, so that tomorrow I give Honorable Tongoyo an opportunity to update the House on the situation of our member. I want to encourage the security agencies, as they carry out thorough investigations in the fatal shooting of Honorable Ngondo Were, to also investigate the circumstances leading to the disappearance and reappearance of the Honorable Koimburi on the dates that I have mentioned, so that we get to know. In the meantime, I encourage all of you members, and indeed all Kenyans, to be conscious of your security and the surroundings and the people you associate with, wherever you are, so that you don't have your security at any one time compromised, leading to unfortunate incidents like the loss of life of Honorable Were and the disappearance and reappearance of Honorable Koimburi. I thank you. Honorable Tongoyev, you want to comment on this? Yes, sir. No, I've directed you go and visit him and bring the report tomorrow. Have you visited him? You will go with Nanok to visit him and bring us an update tomorrow. What you want to give us may be hearsay. I want you to get the facts right. Thank you, honorable members. Next order.
Order number 3, messages.
Members at the bar, take the nearest seats. Honorable Bashir, take your seat. Order, honorable members. Honorable members, I have a few short messages. The first is a message from His Excellency the President. Honorable members, this is a message on notification of persons, on nomination of persons to the positions of chairperson and members of the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission. Honorable members, Standing Order 42.2 relating to messages from the President provide that if a message is received from the President at a time when the House is not in session, the Speaker shall forthwith cause the message to be transmitted to every member and shall report the message to the House on the day the House next sits. In this regard, honorable members, I wish to report to the House that during the recess period, I received a message from His Excellency the President relating to the nomination of persons for appointment to the positions of chairperson and members of the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission. In the message, His Excellency the President conveyed that in accordance with the procedure set out in Section 5 and the first schedule of the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, Cap 7C, and Section 3 and 5 of the Public Appointments Parliamentary Approval Act, Cap 7F, he had nominated Dr. Erastus Edung Ethekon from Turkana County as the chairperson of the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, IEBC, and the following other persons as members of the commission: Ms. Ann Njeri Nderitu from Nyandarua County, Mr. Moses Alutalala Muhwana from Kakamega County, Ms. Mary Karen Sorbit from Uasin Gishu County, Mr. Hassan Nur Hassan from Mandera County, Mr. Francis Odhiambo Adwol from Kisumu County, and Ms. Fahima Arafat Abdallah from Lamu County. Honorable members, you will recall that on Friday, 9th May 2025, I issued a notification number 007 of 2025 in which I conveyed that I had received a message from His Excellency the President and pursuant to Standing Order 42.3c, referred the said message together with the certificate of presidential nomination and the CVs of the nominees to the Departmental Committee on Justice and Legal Affairs. The committee was to undertake the necessary approval hearings pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 45 and the resolution of the House of 13th February 2025. I also directed the clerk to transmit the notification to all members of the National Assembly. And in this regard, honorable members, we shall wait for the Departmental Committee on Justice and Legal Affairs to notify the House as soon as it concludes the approval hearings. The House is accordingly guided. Members at the bar, take the nearest seats. Member for Turkana, the nearest seat excludes sprinting across the floor. Member for Vihiga, what is your idea of the nearest seat? Yes, Honorable Otienda Mola.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, in consideration of your communication, and it may not be in my place because my chairman is here, but I do not want to lose the moment. In respect of that, having forwarded the nominees to the Justice and Legal Affairs Committee. Mr. Speaker, I was hoping that you'd give a further direction in view of events that have since occurred. Mr. Speaker, Chairman Murugara let us know, and we were notified of a court case that was subsequently filed and a stay that was issued, and that the matter is coming up again on 29th. And that, I believe, has put the committee in limbo and has not therefore undertaken what it ought to have undertaken. And yet, the wording of Section 8 of the Act you've just referred to appears mandatory within 14 days. And I think, Mr. Speaker, therefore, you may have to give further guidance to us and the House. One, as to whether, in view of the wording of that decision, the entire process is suspended until determined, or two, in any event, whether time then stops running from the time that order was issued so that the 14 days are extended, or three, whether, depending on the decision that is made on Thursday the 29th, within the time limited, that process can still be undertaken. I'm hoping, Mr. Speaker, you'll give the House further guidance. Thank you.
And four, if I can help you, whether a parliamentary process can be injuncted.
Indeed, that I had canvassed that within the first one. by saying whether in view of the nature of the orders given, the process can continue or be suspended. And I think that's the most fundamental one.
Absolutely, Senior Counsel. My mind is very clear. I'll give you direction tomorrow. And both yourself and the Honorable Murugara, and indeed your committee, may wish tomorrow after prayer breakfast, come to my chamber so that we can have some jurisprudential tete-a-tete. The second message, honorable members. Honorable Bashir, you look very mobile today. Can you take your seat? Thank you. Honorable members, the second message is also from His Excellency the President on nomination of persons for appointment as members of the National Police Service Commission. Honorable members, pursuant to the provision of Standing Order 42, I wish to convey a message